Last April, I learned from the news that one of our neighbors was suffering as a result of the pandemic, and she wasn't receiving any resources. We knew this person, but had no idea that she was enduring all these challenges. So my family bought them beds, clothes, and food, and we were able to financially assist them with their rent. Maria Morales and her family were the first people we supported, and after helping them, we decided to reach out to other friends and neighbors to see how we could support others in the community. Within a matter of weeks, what started as one family helping another, it grew into a community organization focused on reducing food insecurity in Langley Park, a city in Prince George's County where 70% of adults are not U.S. citizens. We are focused on providing meals to immigrant communities. As we know, immigrant communities are often left out of traditional support. I'm Oneida, and I'm one of the founders of Aldelia Community Response Team, also known as Aldelia for short. We named the organization in honor of my mother, Aldelia, who passed away in 2018. My mother believed in the power of community, unity, and collaboration, and she instilled these values in us from when we were young. If she were here today, this is what she would want me doing. In the past 8 months, we have provided 1,000 families, which translates to over 5,000 individuals with essential supplies and every single meal. That equals 421,000 meals delivered every month and over 3.2 million meals delivered since we started. What sets Aldelia apart is the direct connection we have with the community. We have built a deep level of trust with these families, in large part because most of our volunteers are part of this community. We seek to listen and collaborate to bring about meaningful and sustainable change. Aldelia is one big family, and our growing team of over 60 volunteers is what makes our work possible. Our motto is El Pueblo Cuida al Pueblo, and that means the community takes care of the community.
My name's Alex, and I'm a volunteer with the Aldelia Group. I first got involved as a volunteer driver, doing food deliveries for the families we serve. The community-based approach that Aldelia has is what really drew me to the organization. A few months after first getting involved, I had the idea to run a virtual music fundraiser, and we ended up raising over $2,000 with the support of local artists and musicians. Most of our fundraising is through small community events like the one I just mentioned. We're less than a year old, but we've raised over $40,000 through almost 1,000 individual donations, mostly small donations, averaging just over $50. Our community-centered approach has also resulted in a lot of successful initiatives outside of regular food distribution. Back in October, we were getting a lot of calls on our hotline from community members who were being extorted for $250 COVID tests and had no means of getting to the closest free testing site. So we partnered with Meduni, a local health nonprofit, to create the first free testing site in Langley Park. For the last couple months, we've also been operating Care Days, where we provide essential resources to unhoused people in Langley Park. We typically provide resources to the same people each Care Day, building genuine relationships so that unhoused people can count on us for a hot meal, winter clothing, Metro cards, and hygiene kits. Now, we're looking at our future impact. Through local partners who provide free food and supplies, we've been able to significantly reduce our costs. When we first started, a food box for a family of 5 for 2 weeks would cost about $100. Now, we've cut it all the way to about $25. Imagine if we had the capacity to develop those partnerships and build new ones. This is a critical time for our growth. We plan to use the $5,000 grand prize to build a stronger organization so that we can serve even more families. A community driver program means having the community members we serve help us deliver food. The people we serve are interested in this as long as we can pay for gas. More drivers means our volunteers can shift operations, and this means our founder can shift to developing and building those new partnerships. This will make our work more sustainable and help us grow the number of people we regularly distribute food to. Right now, we're serving 1,000 families, multiple times each month. And with additional capacity and outreach to the community, we could be serving 1,500 families by late summer. Winning the Do Good Challenge would help us reduce costs, build more sustainably, and involve the people we serve in our work to create a more sustainable and authentic model. We still have a lot of work to do, and we need your support.
So, Oneida, in the video, in your pitch, you specifically talk about the long-term goal being to make meaningful and sustainable change. And I'm curious if you can say a little bit more about what does meaningful and sustainable change look like to you in the context of this project?
Right now, we're an organization less than a year old, and for being so young, we've accomplished a lot, but we definitely see some challenges ahead when it comes to creating a more sustainable structure for the organization and sustainable sources of funding. So this is something that we think the Do Good Challenge will help us with, not only giving us exposure, but opening us up to new connections that could help us to create more partnerships and fundraising in the future.
So I think it goes back to what Alex was mentioning and getting the community involved, not just becoming a drop-off for the families, but getting them involved and making the work count for them as well. We've been talking to them, and that's where the community volunteers came from, the drivers, where they would get paid for making the drop-offs. So helping them get some financial gain from volunteering with us would also put money back into the community. Although 80% of our focus is on food insecurity, we've also been working on tenant relief because their main goal is to evict them from Langley Park. So they've taken advantage of them being behind on rent and other bills to kick them out of Langley Park. But we're working with CASA in order to give them their power back and doing tenant strikes in order for the landlords not to be able to do this. And we've also been talking to Denny Taveras to see what solutions we can achieve for these families.